Hello everyone, I'm back. I've got a box in my hand. So what I wanted to do was jump on because I was complaining this morning that I didn't have my cut and emboss machine, that I'd been waiting and waiting and waiting for my order to arrive. And guess what? It's arrived. So I wanted to jump on. I haven't even opened the box. I have no idea. I'm now just going to open the box and see what we have. I'm just going to get myself on my YouTube channel so I can see. There it is. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So 2 times in one day today, but anyway, you want to see this little baby get out of the box because I know I do. So we have a brand new cut and emboss machine and I have my hot little baby in my hands. So let's get it out. You were just watching the poinsettia replay. Sorry, Jeannie, but I've got more to show you. We need to see this brand new cut and emboss machine. So let's get to, hang on and I see if I can do, I'm probably going to have to zoom out. So let me see if I can do that. Technology. My mouse is not working like it should. Let me go onto there. And come on. Anyway, let's go to the other camera and let's see what we can see. Let me see if it's too close. It's probably going to be way too close, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So I haven't even opened up the box yet. So we need to open up the box and see what we can see. I need to zoom that out, but my Zoom thing's not working. Hang on. Bear with me, people. I'm going to try and get that to work. Hang on. Here we go. Launch this thing. Come on, launch. Do it. Okay, there. So I can zoom back out. Sorry, you're getting to see a boring box at the moment. Oh, can you see that? Let me see. Come on. Okay, there. Okay, that's a bit better for you. So now you'll be able to see a little bit more. So in the top of our box, we have all of our cutting plates and embossing plates and our base plate. So and it's got a Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine quick start guide. So that's handy. Are you ready for this? Let's take out this. Look at it. There it is. The gorgeous little machine. Oh, how cute is that? Okay, and we have the handle. All right. So let's get this cute little baby out of the packet. Brand new, hot off the press. Look at that. Beautiful. Lovely Stampin' Up emblem, beautiful handle. This is where we've got to put the handle on. So you may want to know how to do this. So I'm just going to show you how to do this. We get a handle and in the bag, we get an Allen key to be able to, and I was watching someone else the other day going, Allen, 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 Allen. I think it was Kylie actually. Allen, Allen, Allen for an Allen key, which was quite funny. But anyway. So we're going to pop our handle in on here. Am I right? What is going on here? Oh, there. Okay, we've popped the handle on. Okay, now in your little bag, you're going to have these cute, a little screw with a little washer. You're so jealous, Sue. And wasn't I complaining that I hadn't got it this morning? And then I was talking to one of my team members, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, there's a courier truck out there. Let's go and see what we've got. Yours turned up yesterday, Leanne. You love watching me. I'm always so positive. I know, but we've got to get positive things in this world of today. We have to be positive. So we've got that little tiny screw there. So we're going to get that in there where it should be and tighten it up as much as we can. Now, this is what I do with these Allen keys. When you've got the longer length, you don't put the short one in until you're ready to tighten it the way you want it to be. And don't over tighten too much. That's quite tight enough. And then we have this cute little gray plug that plugs in there to make it look super, super pretty and nice. And this is where the false nails come in handy. Look at that. Beautiful. So there we have our gorgeous machine. Now, this is how it opens up. It just flips out. It's really sturdy. It's really good. Flips out like that. Bam. Done. Look how good it fits in the video. That's super, super awesome. All right. So do you want to see this little baby work? I'm such a lucky duck. I know. Okay. So let's pop it aside a little bit until we can have a look here. You're getting to see off my desk and everything. I wonder, should I go back to the other part? Let me see if it's not too close. I'll go back to here. Let me see. No, that's all right. That's fine. Okay, so we have the instructions here on our Stampin' Cut machine. So let's open up these. So this all comes. Yes, take the Allen key to the base of the machine. Well, Sue, I always have a little thing on my desk that it goes in. So, and I've got my Allen key from my Big Shot machine as well. I know, always keep the Allen key, but that is a really great idea. So, Leanne, tape your Allen key to the bottom of your machine because Sue has just told us that that's what we need to do. Okay, so we have Stampin' Cut and Emboss Machine Quick Start Guide. So let's open up these instructions. Important, Stampin' Cut and Emboss Machine and dies are designed to cut a single sheet of paper or cardstock at a time. If you try to cut multiple sheets of paper, thicker than cardstock or material other than paper, you could damage the machine and the dies. The Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is designed to work with plates from Stampin' Up. If you use plates or adapters from other manufacturers with the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, you could damage the machine. Do not use the plates designed for the mini Stampin' Cut Emboss machine in the full-size one. So we have a mini one that's coming. Am I still on here? Have I frozen? For some reason, my iPad has frozen. Let me see. I seem to be still there, and I'm still there. Maybe it's just my iPad. Maybe I need to go out and go back in again. Yep, I'm still there. All good. I don't know why, but my iPad was spinning and freezing. Okay, so it says not to use the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There is no date yet on the mini Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. So it is coming, and they say that it should be here before the end of the year, but we have no date, and we don't have a date on the magnetic plates as well. So just to let you know, because everyone's going to say, we have a little baby like this. We have a little baby one that looks like a miniature version of this. And am I going to get the mini one? Of course. And someone said to me this morning, am I going to get the new one? Of course, because I can. I don't need one, but I got one. So, all right. So it says, if your sandwich has difficulty going through the machine, make sure your sandwich uses the correct plates and in the correct order. If the plates in the sandwich are not correct, you could damage the machine. You can use dies and embossing folders from other manufacturers in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but due to the difference in product thickness, You might need to use a shim to adjust the sandwich height. However, if the sandwich is too high, don't force the machine. This could damage the machine. Avoid contact with moving parts. Okay, so inside the box, we get the Stampin' Cut machine, which is here. Gorgeous. We get the base plate, which we have, and they've numbered these, so it makes it super, super fantastic. We have the base plate, which is number 1. So we have the base plate. We have 2 cutting pads, base plate and the die plate. So we have a die plate here. And we have 2 cutting pads. So the die plate, so that's for cutting dies. So the base plate is for embossing. The number 2 plate is for die cutting with the 2 cutting plates, which is number 3. And then we have number 4, and this is our embossing plate. The embossing plate is for embossing with our 3D embossing folders. All right, so, and it tells us all on the plates. So this here, it tells you here, place die cutting edge down. And then it tells you the sandwich. It says you use number 1, number 2, number 3 with your die and your cardstock in between a sandwich of your number 3. So that's for die cutting. So it tells you number 1, number 2, your die and the cardstock, and your plates. And it tells you to place die cutting edge down. Okay. So that means on our dies we have, and some people, if you're brand new and you've decided that you want to get one of these machines, you may not understand the difference between the die cutting edge and the die and the not cutting edge. Around here, you can see another little line all the way around the edge here. So you can see that that has a line there. When you flip it over, it's totally smooth. So because it's totally smooth like that, this is the cutting edge. This is the not cutting edge, okay? So the cutting edge, you can't cut your fingers on it. The way it works is that through the pressure of the machine, it's actually going to cut your cardstock by squeezing it through the machine with the pressure and the right sandwich. So for die cutting, we're going to use plate number 1, plate number 2, and our die with our cardstock and our 3 plates. Look how pretty these plates are. Smooth and clear, shiny and new, exactly. All right, so then it says here, insert embossing folders hinge first. So this is for embossing, okay? So it tells us to use number 1 and number 3. So it says number 1 and number 3. All right. So that means we use this. And that's for our really thin embossing folders. I just want to show you the difference with our embossing folders. Now you may say, what are the thin embossing folders? I'll show you a thin one. This one here is one of our thin embossing folders. So this one here is the Greenery embossing folder. This is designed to go through our mini embossing folder. Now, the beauty of buying a die cut and emboss machine is that whatever the size of the platform is, that's the size of the dies or the size of the embossing folder or the size of the cardstock that's going to fit through your embossing machine. All right. So this one is one of the thin embossing folders. So it tells us to use that, and we would automatically put our cardstock in through there. So I'm going to grab some cardstock and we're going to have a look at some embossed images, and we're going to have a look at some die cutting as well. All right. So then it also says if we're going to here using with 3D embossing folders. So with 3D embossing folders, which is, hang on, I'll grab one. This one here is our 3D embossing folder. So can you see that there's a difference in the thicknesses of those? This one is quite thin. This one is thicker. We do also have the other Let me see if I've got one here. Okay, I do. This one here, can you see this one is thicker again? So this one's the Magnolia embossing folder. So you can see that we have 3 different thicknesses. So this one is really thin, this one is in between, and this one is super, super thick. So with the one that's in between, what we're going to use is we're going to use our base plate. We're going to use our embossing folder with our cardstock in it, and we're going to use our gray plate. So it's this one here where it says use with 3D embossing folders. Base plate number 1 and number 4 with our folder going through first, with the fold going through first. All right. So, oh, you had surgery on Monday. Yes, anesthetic is a little bit like that, isn't it? So then when you get a thick one like this, instead of using the gray plate, what I would use with this one is just our base plate, our cardstock in our super, super thick embossing plate, and then embossing folder, and then just the clear plate. So it's the same as our Big Shot machine as far as the sandwiches with your embossing. Now, embossing is probably the more difficult way of working out how to do it than our cutting. All right, so let's start embossing something first. So let's see, and I've got these embossing folders out. Let's run this embossing folder. So this is our Greenery embossing folder. So I'll just grab a piece of cardstock so that we can see what this looks like. Hang on, I'm going to do, okay, I'm actually going to have a bit of fun here. I'm going to use some of our foil cardstock. Let's use some foil. What color foil do I have? Let's use some gold. Sorry, I'm just grabbing some gold foil here so that we can have a bit of a play around. And I'll cut some sheets because on the foil, you're going to see the embossed look the best. All right. We'll just cut this so that it's big enough to go through. So if you're cutting cardstock, sorry, I'll be back there in a minute. Oh. So if you're cutting cardstock to go through, and you're probably going to go, oh my God, she's using a lot of foil, but I will use these on another project, so it'll be okay. So I'm just going to cut that at, say, 4. There. Okay, so we've got 3 different embossing folders that we can use. All right, so the first one I'm going to use is this Greenery embossing folder. Okay, so I'm going to pop my cardstock in there and I'm going to pop that down. Now, this is one of the thin ones, remember? So let's read on this again. So we've got 4 embossing here. Insert embossing folders hinge first. Now, because we have a thin one, using with standard embossing folders, so this is what they call a standard embossing folder. So we're going to use plate number 1, and a sandwich of number 3, and we're going to put it through the machine, hinge first, so you can see that my hinge is there, and let's wind that through the machine. Let's get the machine in here further so you can see. Now, let's wind that through the machine. Okay. Oh, it's very nice to wind it through. Very nice. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Wow. Okay, so I must admit, I've been feeling like my old Big Shot machine was not quite getting a really good embossed look. But you can see the embossed look on that. That is super, super embossed, super awesome. So there's the debossed side and the embossed side. So that was using just a standard embossing folder. So this is actually a great way to go back and check out how to use this machine. So if you're having any problems, always go back to my video here because this is going to show you exactly how to use it. Okay, so now we're going to use one of our new 3D ones, which is bigger than the standard one, so thicker, remember? So you can see how the thickness of those two is so different. So this one's a bit thicker. So we're going to do that, and we're going to use that in our machine. So for the 3D ones, it says to use the base plate, which is number 1, which is this one. And it says to use number 4, which is our gray plate. And it tells us to make sure that we put that embossing folder going through with our fold going through first. So let's run that through. It's firm, but it's easy to use. And there we have it. Let's see what that looks like. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Okay, so that's using the 3D embossing folder. So Sue's saying, oh, payday is tomorrow, then I can order the new machine. Yes, that you desperately need. I'm telling you, Sue, you're going to love it. All right, so now we've got one of the old. So sometimes we have these older versions. Now, this is not on here because this is a sandwich that you're going to have to work out. If you've got our old embossing folders, our 3D ones, you can see much thicker than what that one is. What else have I got that's a big thick one like that as well? Not tin tile. There was something else that I had, I thought. Still here, maybe not. Anyway, so this one is thicker again. Okay, so when we had the really thick ones, this is what we need to do. So we're going to just do, and this is what I did with my big shot as well. So the base plate, your cardstock in, fold still going through first because we definitely need that to happen. I feel like I want to get the 2 of these flowers on here. So there, fold going through first, and then just a cutting pad on top. Actually, this one's not one of the thick ones. We had super, super thick ones. Maybe I don't have any of them left anymore. I did have a super thick one. But maybe not. Anyway, the super, super thick one. So that isn't a super thick one. But if you've got the old 3D ones, the old Sizzix 3D ones, this one's not an old, this one's a Stampin' Up one. I should have known better. So if you've got the old Sizzix 3D ones, then you just use just the plain cutting pad on top. That's if you've got old ones. I must have sold them all in my retire one. So this one is actually a 3D one. So the proper 3D ones. So let's put that through. Hi, Alice. Oh, it's a lunch break for you and you're catching me in your lunch break. Okay, there you go. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous embossed effect. Absolutely stunning. So that is the embossing layers. Now they're the hardest of all to work out. So, so just remember that normal embossing, we're going to use the number 1 and 2 of the number 3s. 3D embossing, we're going to use the number 1, our embossing folder, and just our gray plate number 4. But it's all here on this base plate. It tells you exactly what to do. Now on the other plate, it says place die cutting edge down. So this is telling us how to do the die cutting. So it's telling us to have here number 1, number 2, and a sandwich of the number 3s. So we're going to have number 1 here, number 2. Okay, let's grab some cardstock because I want to cut out some of these gorgeous trees. So let's do these intricate trees. So we're going to have a cutting pad here. Okay, so cutting pad. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. We've got our cardstock. And let's do some of these trees. So I'm going to place one tree there and another one of those trees, which this one here. So two of these trees. Now I'm placing them in the middle. Now, normally on my big shot, I actually wouldn't have placed it in the middle. I would have placed it towards the outside if I was cutting it on my big shot, because on the big shot, the most pressure was on the outside rollers, and on the inside, there wasn't a lot of pressure. This is designed that it's got pressure all the way across that pad. Okay, so it should be fine to be able to place them right in the center. Now I'm going to do one pass through and we're going to see how these cut out. You ready? So one pass through and we'll see how they cut out. It runs really smoothly. It's a good sturdy machine. It's very, very good. Okay, so there we have it. We'll take those off. Look at that die. Look at the intricate die that we have cut. One pass through, no problem whatsoever. It's very intricate. There's a lot of blade on that die, but it's gone through really, really easily. And same with the other one. Now, the other thing, now this is the one that's in the middle and it's cut out perfectly in the middle. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you have placed your dies, they're going to cut middle, side, anywhere, they're actually going to cut really perfectly all the way through. So you can see that. Now, this is another thing that I need to say to people. The first thing that people do, can you see that? Will you see it on this here? Can you see the cut marks that are in my plate? That is totally normal. There is nothing wrong with those cut marks. That is what the cutting plates are designed to do. One of the first things that I have from every single person, is it easy on my wrist? Yes. If I wasn't using it sideways, Sue, it would be much easier on my wrist. Sideways is a little bit harder. But if I actually had it, like if I was using it personally myself, I would be using it this way. So I would be using it that way, holding it with my hand and winding it through. So yes, not a problem. I mean, I have a sore wrist and I can do it. So no dramas as far as that's concerned. But as I said, getting back to this, people think that they've made a mistake when they've done that. Can you see those two trees that you can see in there? That is what these cutting plates are supposed to do. But that is the first thing that people normally tell me when they ring me. They say, I think I've broken it because I've marked all the clear sheets. And we all love to have beautiful clear sheets, but even on that one, see, so you can see the pressure. That was the top plate and you can still see that there was pressure there. So it's a wonderful die cutting machine. The other thing is too, the beauty of it is that when we're finished with it, we can just fold up the two pieces and then it's so portable and so wonderful. And it's got beautiful rubber feet on the bottom for it to actually like stick onto our surface to hold it really tightly. And I mean, like folding them out, they just flip out as easy as anything. So the difference between a big shot machine and the space, that's the other thing. We may even be able to, let's see if we can zone back out here again. If I can get this to work there. Let's go, I'll try and get back out so you can see more space because I want to compare how much room the big shot has, okay, compared to this one. So we have this one here, okay? So you can see the whole surface, you can see everything that I'm doing. You can see when it folds up, it's very compact, all right? So we've only got that much room plus the handle sitting on our bench. So when it's folded out, you can see folded out, it looks still quite compact. Now I'm going to bring in, are you ready for this? The big shot machine. Okay. Now probably as far as when it's folded out, yes, it's taking up the same amount of room. But the thing is, we can't fold these up. So we have all of this space on our bench top. Now, compared to if we had this sitting on our bench top, look at that. We just have that space sitting on our bench top. It's about, well, it's the same width. So, yeah, like when you look at that compared to that, you're going to have so much room on your desk when it's folded up. You can push it to the side and you may not have to sit it down on the floor. But so as far as, like, honestly, as far as the actual design of it, it's beautiful. And, you know, I love things that have the Stampin' Up! Emblem on them. And it's really nice. It's like metal and shiny and just gorgeous. It's a much neater machine. So much neater, Sue. I do agree. So much neater machine altogether. Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna, okay. So, I'll go back to there. Oops, a daisy. I'm trying to get the right video going here. That one there. So, I'm super excited that I have my machine. So, it is something that if you haven't got a machine, the beauty of this is if you are new to crafting, or even if you've been crafting for a while and you don't have a die cutting machine, you can pop this little baby into a starter kit today. Now, this cost me $209. Well, it didn't, because I get discount. So it didn't cost me $209. But as a customer, it's going to cost $209 plus postage. Now, postage goes on weight. So if you've decided that you wanted to purchase one of these, you've got to think about how much. I don't actually know what the postage would be. I probably could work that out and find out. But if you got this in a starter kit today, you would only pay $169 for it. So saying that $209, can I afford $209? I think you can afford $170, $169 in fact. You can pop it into your starter kit, plus you've still got more to spend because this is only $209. You get to choose $235 worth of product, and you get this delivered plus the extra to make up to $235. You only pay $169 and it gets delivered freight free to your doorstep. So just saying, if I wanted to get a brand new machine, and I mean, one of my new team members, she was waiting and waiting, and I said, you know what, sign up, get the discount, and when the machine comes, then you can buy it, and you're going to have your discount anyway. So we all as demonstrators have had our discount on it anyway. So I get 25% discount on it. So you could get 20% discount if you are already a demonstrator and you are at bronze or bronze elite level. If you, sorry, no, bronze elite level, you get 25% discount. So if you're just a hobby demonstrator and you're just at bronze level, it will cost you $209 less the 20% discount. But if you're higher than bronze elite or higher, you get 25% discount. Or, as I said, put it in your starter kit and start getting discount on all of your products. So if you're interested in joining my team, I would love to have you as part of my Wild Heart Crafters. If you're interested in joining my team, then please feel free to either call me or go onto my website, donnagray.stampinup.net, and click the Join Now tab. And I can tell you, you will have a wonderful time being a part of a crafty community circle, and you can get your hands on this little baby for $169. All right, so I'm actually going to go now that I've got excited and I've showed you all what the beautiful new cut and emboss machine looks like. So Stampin' cut and emboss machine. How many times am I going to call this a big shot machine? I reckon I'm going to call it a big shot machine for the next couple of months, knowing me. But it's called the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So we will have a mini one that's coming in the future. And as I said, they're saying that we should hopefully have it before Christmas. The mini one is just like this, but a mini version, a mini teeny one, which is really cute. And so it's designed to fit that embossing folder. So instead of having the platform here at 6 inches wide, it'll be 3 inches wide, and it will fit these little ones through. So it'll be like, I don't know, a tiny little version, but it looks super, super cute. So I'm definitely going to do that. Now, you may say, why do I want the mini one? If you're an avid crafter or if you're getting into crafting, it is fantastic for doing little embossing folders like this, for doing maybe cutting out one shape, cutting out a couple of leaves. So it's fantastic to have on your desk to be able to do those little tiny die cutting things or the little tiny embossing folders. And they've designed some beautiful embossing folders to go with our mini machines. So, but it will be coming in the future, and so will our magnetic plate for this as well. So, and the beauty of the new magnetic plate, so I've been told, is that it's not little magnets that they will, if you've got small dies, that they will jump from one magnet to another. It's actually a fully magnetic plate. So the fully magnetic plate means that you will be able to place your die wherever you want, and it's not going to jump and jump across. And when you've stamped an image and you're trying to get this little tiny die to sit on it, sometimes the magnetic plate that we had was a little bit annoying because it would jump from one magnet to the other because the die was not heavy enough to stay in one spot. And even sometimes with the bigger dies, it used to happen. But with our new magnetic plate, when we get it, that won't happen as well. So it's fantastic. It's great that we have our own Stampin' Up! Cut and emboss machine now. I know that we sold the Big Shot before, but it was always connected with Sizzix. So it's actually quite nice now that this is wholly and solely Stampin' Up's brand of emboss machine, cut and emboss machine. So it's super, it's patented to Stampin' Up. So, and it's even better because it has the Stampin' Up emblem on it. I love everything that says Stampin' Up. I'm sorry, but that's the way I am. My kids laugh at me. I've got a pair of socks and they have the Stampin' Up emblem on it. They're fantastic socks. So because they're Stampin' Up socks, anything with Stampin' Up on it, I have to have. All right. So I'm going to leave you all to it. So that was a quick live video this afternoon to show you my beautiful new baby that's in my craft room, and it will get pride place on the bench. And it's going to go really well with my new craft room because it's super, the right color. Okay, everyone, have a great time.